Isabella. Here's some money. How much is there? You have a look. Have a count for me.
$10.
$10. Very good. What would you do with the money, do you think?
Save $6.
$6, yeah.
Spend 4.
Would you spend any? Why not?
Because if I save it, I could get something better than what we have now.
6 and you get pocket money already. How much do you get?
50, 20, and 10.
So is that 50 cents you get or $50?
$50.
Wow, for putting away your washing.
I would spend on another big teddy.
What would you do with the $10?
$4 to share,
Yeah.
$4 to save, and $2 to spend.
What's more fun, spending or saving?
Spending.
Do you like to save or do you like to spend?
I like to spend. I actually still want more stuff.
Okay, all together now. Aww. Aren't they cute? Then they grow up. With me now is Canadian financial literacy leader Jane Rooney. Jane, are these children unusual? Would you expect their attitudes to change as they grow older?
Interesting. I think that they are unusual. In Canada, we haven't done a similar survey to see what the saving or spending habits are of younger children. But I'm actually encouraged by this video, frankly. I think that what we need to do is make sure that our children learn healthy habits at a young age so that as they become adults, they already have those healthy habits and are good consumers. And in fact, when you talk about teenagers, I have 2 teenage boys. So I have a son who's almost 17 and a son who's 19. And I see the peer pressure. They're constantly connected. They're on social media. They're bombarded by the marketing videos. And so we have to combat that environment, the strong marketing habits, the big spending, to help people budget. We have to help them save, and we have to help them live within their means.
How do we do that? What are the key drivers of that behaviour change?
I think we have to make it fun. We have to make it relevant. In Canada, we have a couple of interesting programs, and you know, what I do for a living is financial literacy, and I said I have 2 teenage boys. We have a comedian that runs around Canada and teaches kids about money in the high school setting. So he's a comedian, Funny Money. My kids saw this comedian in the high school, and all of a sudden, they were asking me about the different financial products and services. Oh, Mom, what is a tax-free savings account? What is a GIC? So we have to make it fun. We have to make it relevant to the kids' environment, and we have to use the means to get to the kids that they're using themselves,
You talked
meaning
about that,
social media.
If it's anything like my 2 teenagers, it's very, very quiet at home because everybody's on their own digital device. And is that the way we have to reach them, through the digital device now? Is there any other way?
I think that we do need to use the digital device. I think social media is the way to go, but I mean, there are different paths, right? That's getting to the kids directly. I think we also need to get to kids through the school system and through their parents, frankly. In Canada, one of the ways a nonprofit is getting to parents, teachers, and the kids themselves is talk with kids about Money Day. So one day in the month of April, 5,000 schools run money fairs and do fun activities. And it's engaging not only the young children, but it's teaching the parents a little bit more about money too.
Is one day a year enough?
Definitely not. So interesting in, financial literacy is a critical life skill, right? It's something that affects every single person. Every single day of their lives, we're making money decisions. So it's a lifelong learning process. We have Financial Literacy Month in Canada, which is the month of November. And that's an opportunity for us to focus for a whole month activities. This year we have a launching conference by the Chartered Professional Accountants of Canada, and Corrine Wilson's here in the audience. But throughout the whole month, we engage stakeholders. We engage organizations like Koreans, but we also engage the financial sector. And that's one thing I do want to highlight is the financial sector has a role to play here. They have to have fun and engaging ways of getting people to use their financial products and save.
Two of the most notoriously boring professions are economists and accountants. Someone once told me that economists were invented to make accountants sound interesting. But that's harsh on them because they both have a very vital role. Like you say, though, you've got to make it engaging. When it comes to the engagement factor, who's more important, or are they equally important, the parents or the schools?
That's a great question. I would say they're equally important because in the school system, you're reaching a whole cohort with key information at the same time. But if the behaviors or attitudes or healthy habits you're learning in the school system aren't being reflected in the home, then you're going to follow the path of your family. So I think both are very important.
So cross-reinforcement. Hello, still there. How important is it to start talking about money early, and how early should we be canvassing this with our children?
It's critical to talk about money as soon as possible and force it. As I said, sorry, my mic keeps off, so I'm trying to make sure I'm facing everybody properly. As I said,
hang on, just one second. We'll pass you over to a different microphone.
Can we turn that one off and turn that one on?
Thank you. Can you still hear me? Financial literacy needs to be taught as early as possible.
How old is that?
So, you can start talking to kids about money as early as 4 or 5 years old. In the US, they have great research that shows that children start learning about healthy habits as young as 6 years old. You can start, as in the US, the CFPB has launched research that says that you can start talking about healthy habits, instant gratification, and teaching those kinds of behaviors before you introduce money concepts. So on our website, we have some information about, what different stages of information you can give at different stages of life. So you can certainly use FCEC's website, but I'd say introducing concepts as young as possible and then building on the concepts of debt, credit as someone gets older and as their life experiences change. So, in Canada, typically a person would have a part-time job around the age of 16. Often they've already got a cell phone at the age of 16. We have to start teaching kids about making bill payments on time, making sure that they have a budget and sticking to it as early as possible.
You've said that people are making more complex decisions more quickly. You need to find ways to disrupt those transactions.
Definitely.
Can you explain that a little bit further?
Definitely. As everyone in this room knows, when you transact online, you're making decisions instantaneously. So FCEC, as educators, regulators, we have to figure out how to make sure that the person has information in advance of making that decision, but also what's the disruptor, what's the decision path in that transaction, and is there a way that we can help people stop and think and then make a decision later on? And really, technology is the way that we can do that.
Particularly for millennials, what's the effect of advertising, marketing, and the impact of brands?
It's huge. I mean, I just see it in my own home, and you're constantly bombarded on social media. My kids use Instagram, as we saw so aptly this morning. There's information as you pass Starbucks, you can get advertising. So you're constantly being bombarded by very, very healthy advertising budgets. In the financial literacy world, we don't have those healthy advertising budgets. So we're looking at partnering with organizations. We partner with the financial institutions. We know that people go to their financial institutions for information. Well, FCAC has rights and responsibilities videos that we're asking the banks to use their social media platforms to promote government messages that are unbiased and helping people understand better how to transact, how to protect themselves online, messages around debt, and the real cost of those.
Is this how you're addressing technology, making it easier to spend? So this is the countermeasures of using technology?
Exactly. I think we do have to use technology to counteract that spending. A couple of ways that we've done it at FCEC, we have a really neat project with a private sector company called Carrot Insights. And so we are trying to help people with very basic things. Help them budget, help them live within their means, help them save. This Carrot app uses technology, so it's an app that's driven by healthy habits, and we've embedded a whole bunch of budgeting questions. What we learned from that research is that people didn't have any idea how to start. So where do you start to budget? Well, our messages taught them what a budget is, drove them, and it was a call to action, come to FCAC's website to use our budget tools. And what we saw after using this app, people's knowledge increased, but actually their behavior changed. They actually started budgeting, and they're still budgeting. So it's encouraging.
Young people's behaviour changed.
Yes.
Because there are two truisms that apply regardless of generation. Old people are going to say, young people today, and young people are going to roll their eyes at old people. How do you get past that impasse? How do you make saving, financial literacy, for young people cool to overcome those messages from old people?
I think, you do have to make savings cool. We don't want to stop people from spending, but we want people to spend wisely. So we want them to save, we want them to budget, we want them to live within their means. And so if you make it a fun, make it engaging, use incentives potentially, make it a positive thing. It's about choices, as one of my colleagues so aptly described today. If you make spending and saving choices and you talk about it in a positive way, then people will be drawn to that. But I do think that we need to make it fun. One of the things that we're doing at FCAC on the incentive side of things, we heard a little bit about incentives this morning, is it's another app that we're working with, a nonprofit. It's called Small Change, so make small changes. So you have to set a financial goal through this app. You virtually save by not buying the coffee today to reach your financial goal. But we had huge uptake on this app, and we're seeing people virtually saving because they chose to not buy that coffee today. And so small changes, that's the name of the app, actually are shown to be working. So I hope that that's something that can resonate with young people.
Over a long term.
Over long
Benefits
term.
of delayed gratification.
Yeah, and I know you're talking about older people and how do you combat that. But I think that financial literacy is about all age groups, right? And I think that if we can make it fun and engaging, it's not just about young people. You can make it fun and engaging for all walks of life.
What happens when mum and dad they tell you the right things, they tell you the benefits of budgeting, they tell you the benefits of saving, of compound interest and so forth, but the behaviour they model is completely different? What wins?
Well, unfortunately, habits are ingrained, and so I think knowledge only goes a certain way. So we've done a lot of research about knowledge, behavior, and skills, which are the definition. That's the definition of financial literacy. And what we find is actually knowledge goes a certain way. People do need to know about the financial products and services. They do need to know what their rights and responsibilities are, but they also have to have the confidence to make decisions, to shop around, to ask the right questions. And they have to have those skills, the budgeting skills. Those tools are incredibly important. Again, so it goes to the healthy habits. We need them to do all of those things.
Okay, what's your 30-second pitch to a millennial? You've got 30 seconds because that's as much attention as they're going to give you. Okay, you've got to make your pitch now. You need to budget and save, kids. That's not enough. Tell me, I'm 16 years old. I'll get my phone out, hang on.
I think he's met my son, Jack.
That's my son.
My pitch is think about yourself in the future. So think about today, and saving for yourself today means that you're going to be a healthier person tomorrow and be able to have the choices that you want to make in your future years. So save today for yourself tomorrow. So I'd say make it relevant, make it fun, make it engaging.
Aren't kids immortal and invincible, though? They don't see the future. It's all about the now. How do you do it the now?
That's a great point. Actually, one of our academics in Canada did something really neat. He aged people's in photographs and he put envelopes. So it was a pilot project, of course. But when someone saw themselves in their future self, all of a sudden it made it relevant. It made it something that they wanted to do because it's for themselves. So I think that making it really relevant and really about yourself and how you're doing something good for yourself. But millennials are also interested in doing good for society. We've seen a lot of uptake of that Me to We campaign. You know, it's really important for millennials to give back. And one of the things that we've noticed in this small change app that I described, behind the scenes of these financial goal setting, a financial institution is giving money to a nonprofit to deliver financial literacy programs. So it's building on that social responsibility concept. You're saving a financial goal, you're setting one yourself, you're saving for yourself, but behind the scenes, you're doing good for someone. And I think millennials are very keen on doing good for society.
It's clear that millennials are different in a number of ways. This is the time that you bring in sex, you see, to get people's attention. Sex. Apparently...
You got my attention.
Okay, not sure where to go from here. Apparently, research shows that millennials' sexual behaviour is not as liberal as their parents was, that they're starting to have sex later in life. Now, I've got your attention. There's also been a lot of research showing that millennials, there's going to be a backlash to the materialism and consumerism of their parents. Is that what you're seeing?
So I'm encouraged to see that it's less liberal because I have 2 teenage boys. I want to make sure that they're behaving properly. But I have not seen a backlash. At FCAC in Canada, we have not seen that backlash. Rather, we've seen a real interest by millennials in social responsibility. And as I said, that's really where we're trying to use some of that good work and wanting to give back to yourself, but also give back to the community.
It's a question I used earlier in the day too, but I want to see, where does it all lead? Do you think the millennials are going to come to a greater position of financial responsibility with regard to the future of their lives? Or do you think that the materialism path or trend that we're on is going to continue?
I absolutely think that our youth are going to be better positioned than we ever were. In Canada, financial literacy is now being taught in school systems all across the country. It's not a required course, but the ministries of education feel it's important. So our kids are getting a lot more information than we did as young people. We also have the engagement by the financial sector. They feel that it's important to provide more information to their customers because customers that are better informed shop around, use more financial products and services, and they use them responsibly. So I think our children are now immersed in an environment where they're supported fully by organizations and government, by the private sector, and also the school system.
Between us, we have 4 teenagers. We're optimistic about the future. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please put your hands together for Jane Rooney? Thanks, Jane.